Hey guys, Brian Fleischman again. I got a request to do a video on returns and return methods and some parameter stuff. So let's see if we can fit it in 10 minutes or less. So let's go ahead and start with a review of static methods that are pretty early in the year in AP Computer Science. Outside our main method, we can define other methods using public static void, for example. And we get to choose our own name. This one's name is main. We can choose one that's called, like, I don't know, do something cool. All right. And inside here, we have string args. We're not at the part of the year where we need to know what that means yet. We just know here that in our static method, there's going to be nothing in here. Okay. And we're going to fill this out later and tell you what's supposed to go in here. But for now, let's focus on this method, public static void, do something cool, and how it relates to how you can be accessed from the main method. Okay, so in here, let's do something really simple. So now when I call this method, right, and here's how you call a method. You just grab its name, or you can type it yourself. That's totally fine. You can do it like this and call it. And the flow of control says that the program's going to start at main, and then it says do something cool. And then the program's going to ask you, okay, where's the instructions for do something cool? It will go and find it, and then it will execute this method. So we should see the behavior that we get. Here's something cool, and there we go. There it is. Okay, so let's kind of try to piece apart what the method signature means, especially this word. All right, so this means this is really no data type in particular. Do something cool. All it is just a set of instructions. Okay, so void methods, they're not like ints, they're not like strings or anything else. All they are is just like a block of instructions that will execute when called upon. But methods are way more interesting than that. They can actually be something. They can be an int, they can be a string. And this is where we get into the discussion of return types. Okay, so let's ditch do something cool. That was fun and everything, but let's kind of get into return types. Okay, so I wonder if I wanted to do like something like this. If I wanted to create a number, my favorite number, of course I could say 12. That's fine, right? You can also put a method here, right? I'm just going to make one up, get my favorite number. I can access it like a method call. And so methods actually can be integers, or they can be strings or whatever. You just have to write the header correctly. Okay, so let's look. I'm going to write the same thing, public static void, and then I'm going to write get my favorite number. By the way, we're going to change the word void, okay? I know I'm going to change it. So I'm going to say get my favorite number. I'm going to make this method. And I'm going to have a block. Okay. So if we want this thing to act like an int, this is where you place that. Okay. You say it's not public static void like the last one, which is just a block of instructions. This is a public static int. Okay. Now we need instructions in here that tell the method what int to act like. Okay. And this is where we're going to use the word return. Okay. Let's return the number 12. Okay. So anytime you have something here other than void, you're going to need to have the word return and then that data type after it. So now when we look here, let's kind of try to take apart the code. Okay, my favorite number is, go get my favorite number. And then the program will go, okay, I'm going to go get it. And it's going to go look for the instructions, and the method returns the number 12. So this comes back as 12. Okay, this is really 12. This is an overly complicated way to get the number 12. Of course, we could have just written it, but I'm just showing you that methods themselves can be data types. You just need to specify what kind of data type it is here, and then within the method have some instructions containing what it is that it needs to represent. Okay, so maybe we want to do something more interesting, okay, than just returning the number 12. Let's see if we can come up with something else. Okay, so this was a method that I came up with. Right, so let's grab, this is an example we did in class. Some people were absent for it. Let's go over it right now. So let's create a string called sample, I don't know, and we'll say it is going to be how you doing. Okay, now I'm going to print this line. So I'm I'm going to print sample, and we should get how you doing. Okay, let's just make sure. There we go. All right, so what we can do here, this is kind of a double lesson here. We're going to return a string, but we're also going to have something else inside those parentheses like I promised. Okay, let's make a method, okay, a public static string called borrow this string. Okay, and let's fill out what we're going to do in here. Okay, so do you see these parentheses here? What goes in here is something that you may want to grab from the main method and pass it in here to get, to become part of the instructions. Okay, so let's specify that. When I call borrow this string, I want a string to come in. Like I'm going to say string sample. By the way, it doesn't have to be called sample. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change it to make sure that you know it doesn't have to be called sample. I'm going to say s. So within the local scope of this method here, we can refer to this s string. Okay, whatever we pass in here is known as s. Okay, so let's say that s. Let's add on the word borrow to the end of it. In case you didn't know, you can actually take strings and add other strings onto them, and it just tacks them onto the end. And now after this, remember, since we have a return type of string here, we must return something. So let's return that string s. So now whatever comes in, do you see what's going to happen? Whatever string comes in, this is called a parameter. Whatever string comes in called s, it's going to get the word bro tacked onto the end of it. Okay? So let's go ahead and say now, instead of saying the sample is going to be how you doing, let's make the sample equal to bro this string. Okay, now it's not going to work yet because you can see, look at this, bro this string, it's saying like, hey man, like you told me you're going to put a string inside the parentheses, so let's do that. How you doing? So now you can see the sample string is going to, it's going to be a result of the bro this string instructions using the word how you doing as string s. So we're going to take how you doing, tack on the word bro to the end, and then we're going to return that. So we should get how you doing bro. Okay? Let's see if we do. How we do. Okay? So remember, just a little review. We're going to run out of time here in a second. But if you want a method to act like a variable, you can just say that right here. Just make sure that part of the instructions return that type of variable. You can also take some input to become part of the instructions. And that goes in here. And make sure that you have the data type and a localized name for the variable that you're going to be able to use in here. Just notice, you don't have to actually have the variable be s out here. Just whatever gets passed in is going to be known as s within these instructions. Okay? So just to prove it to you, I can just make another string. I'm just going to make you are cool. And then let's make another string and say, hey, this string is going to be final string. And I'm just making up variable names, okay? And I'm going to call the bro this string method on sample, okay? Can you see what's going to happen here? And I want to print final string here. Okay, so let's see what's happened. We got a string sample called you are cool. Here's a final string, and it's the result of the instructions of the bro this string method. I'm allowed to do this because the bro this string method acts like a string. Well, what string does it act like? Well, it takes whatever you pass in, and it adds bro to the end and comes back as that. So if we want to bro this string on sample, you can see what sample is. It's you are cool. So you are cool gets tacked on. The word bro gets tacked onto the end. It comes back. So when we print final string, we should get you are cool, bro. Okay, so this is a little review about return types, which go right here. Okay, whatever you want it to act like, it could be an int, a string, a char, a boolean, anything you want. Just make sure that somewhere in your instructions of the method returns that variable type. And you can also pass in variables to be considered as part of the instructions. Okay, just make sure that in your method header, you say what variable type is coming in, what's expected to be coming in, and then use that, locally as this name. Okay, doesn't matter what name it comes in at. Okay, so hopefully that cleared up a little bit. And you're going to find this useful in a lot of the labs we're doing. And I'll talk to you guys on Friday. Please leave me comments, suggestions, anything else. Happy coding, everybody.